are listening to Health Talk America. Across the nation, millions of Americans are searching for real answers to real health questions, and this is where they find them. Welcome to the #1 health talk radio program in America, Health Talk America. Your host, Dr. Adam Brockman, Doctor of Naturopathy, Doctor of Chiropractic, and Certified Specialist in Regenerative Sports and Anti-Aging Medicine, joined by Dr. Bob Martin, a chiropractic physician, board-certified clinical nutritionist, and a diplomate of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. The information presented today is educational in nature. Please consult your personal health care provider regarding any health issues you may have. Got a health-related problem or challenge? Not feeling well and not sure where to turn or what to do? Dr. Adam Brockman and Dr. Bob Martin are here for you and will do their very best to answer your health questions. The toll-free number to call with your health-related question or to make a health-related comment is 800-606-8822. 800-606-8822. That's 800-606-8822. This is Health Talk America.
Welcome to Health Talk America. I'm Dr. Adam Brockman, and folks, let's start with that moment of truth. You know, the one for many men and some women even. You're standing in the front of the bathroom mirror. The light is just a little too honest, and suddenly you realize that your forehead is starting to stage a hostile takeover of your scalp. And you know, for decades, the solution was a sticky mess of foams that made you look like you'd been caught in a rainstorm, or maybe it was expensive procedures that left you looking like a doll from the 1970s. You know, it's frustrating, and frankly, it's an ego bruiser. But what if I told you that the secret to keeping your mane isn't found in a bottle of goo, but in the hands of 3 brothers who refuse to accept a receding future? And today, we're joined by David, Paul, and Mark D'Amuzio, the founders of Lock Lab. They didn't just study hair loss, they lived it, and they fought it, and they've won. And here's a cool fact before we get started today. David is a world champion juggler, and all 3 boys, brothers here, they're fantastic jugglers themselves. So yes, these guys literally know how to keep chaos in the air without dropping the ball. And along with Dr. Dan McGrath, they've turned the industry, the hair loss industry, on its head by juggling the complex science of hair loss and making it simple for the rest of us. These guys, they can keep 7 pins in the air, so keeping your hair on your head, it's child's play for them. Gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Health Talk America. How are you today?
Good. Hey, thanks, Dr. Adam.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. Before we dive into the solution that we're going to talk about today, let's talk about why the other products for hair loss are failing. David, I want to start with you. Most guys have tried the drugstore, the foams, and the generic sprays. Why do these traditional hair loss treatments fail so miserably for the average man, or, like we alluded to too, a female as well?
There's a host of reasons. I think the first reason just comes down to lifestyle, and it's something that medically is called compliance, which means that if you don't do something the way you're supposed to, it's not going to work. And rubbing a foam or spray on your head with minoxidil is supposed to be done twice a day, every single day for the rest of your life. It makes your hair smell funny. I did it for years. I tried. I failed as well. Basically, everyone does. They have done studies as well on this with how many people continue using minoxidil over the course of years. And within 5 years, everyone has stopped. Just no one continues doing it. And so I did that. My hair smelled weird. I remember I had a girlfriend at the time that she smelled the minoxidil foam, and she literally said, "That is the smell of you." Like, when I smell that minoxidil foam, that's like the smell that reminds me of you. And then I used the spray as well. As that was like made my hair really greasy. It was on my pillow when I'm trying to go to sleep. It was just a huge pain. Like, nobody is going to consistently do it. And then the amount of guys that are even able to do it once a day, most guys just revert to the once a day, which isn't even medically how you're supposed to use it. And even that, most people don't keep up with. I mean, So that's the number one reason. But then there's a lot of reasons beyond that, even just scientifically, which is things like a lot of guys, about 60% of guys don't have enough of the enzyme needed to actually convert the minoxidil topically into its usable form. So about 60% of guys who are using this topically, it's just not working for a period, not going to, even if they did somehow manage to rub it on their head twice a day, every day. So there's just a lot of problems with it. And it's actually very unfortunate that minoxidil has this reputation topically because it works so well orally. So actually, first, I think it was in the early 1970s, 1960s, minoxidil was used orally, and that's where they first saw these incredible hair regrowth results, was from the oral use. But then it got FDA approved topically, and we kind of actually lost the really good mechanism, which was the oral mechanism. And for years and years, no one took it orally. Come to find out, that's actually the huge game changer when it comes to your hair.
And another issue is that we found very recently oral minoxidil is dose dependent. And that means the higher the dose, the greater the clinical result, like the more hair you're going to get. And people just did not know that before. So there's been multiple studies done that show the 5% foam is the equivalent to 1 milligram of oral minoxidil. So if you're doing 5 milligrams of oral minoxidil, it's like you're putting the foam on your head 5 times a day, but you just take it in 1 second and you're getting way more hair. So it's a lot of amazing benefits.
I think the history of hair loss and these medications has really worked against them, because in the Lock Lab pill, we have everything that you need to essentially solve hair loss. Like, essentially, hair loss has been cured, especially preventatively. It really has been cured. No guy should ever go bald again, period. Like, maybe 0.5%. Like, almost no one should ever go bald again because this medication exists. The thing is that these medications have already existed in some sort of form for a long time before this. And so people have these feelings towards the medications that they hear minoxidil and they're like, oh yeah, my dad tried rubbing minoxidil on his hair, that doesn't work. Or they hear finasteride and they're like, oh yeah, I heard this thing about finasteride and someone tried this and this didn't work as well. Or I tried this for a little while. Previously, I tried finasteride and I was using some really cheap finasteride. I was getting overseas and I wasn't using the minoxidil with it, and it wasn't working that great. And I thought, maybe this thing doesn't work. And it's really the combination of those things working together is where the absolute game changer.
Yeah, and again, David was talking about the compliance, and to me, that compliance is that silent killer of health goals. If you got a treatment and it feels like it's a part-time job, you're just gonna quit. And so the solution that Paul was telling about with the research, and we need solutions like that to fit into our lives and not the other way around. And let's be honest, modern men, we get gaslit a lot of times by our own mirrors. One day you think I look solid, and the next day the bathroom lighting it looks a little different. So in this case, it's just an easy, simple way to make it into your routine, where it's just like brushing your teeth. And so Mark, I want to ask you, you guys talk a lot about the ingredients. They have that synergy, and of course, Paul mentioned them. David's mentioned a little bit about them. But what is missing from the standard over the counter options that Dr. McGrath helped you guys solve?
So one is not all medications are made the same. So there is like a tolerance in medications, and plus or minus 20%. So as David kind of mentioned, you can get kind of cheap generic versions of these, but it's not going to be the exact dosages that you're looking for. So doing third party testing on it for quality, making sure it's made here in the U.S. Is also really important for also something that you're taking every single day for the rest of your life. You just want to be cognizant of that, I think. So
Yep, Mark mentioned the tolerances. So there, in all medication, there's something called the API, which is the active pharmaceutical ingredient. And so the FDA actually allows a certain tolerance. It's about 20%, right? They actually allow a 20% tolerance in the API, the active pharmaceutical ingredient. So if you're taking 1 milligram, you might actually only be taking, plus or minus 10% on either side. And the thing is that it actually is sometimes larger than that.
Well, let me take a quick break, and then we'll get back into this. I'm talking with the Dimusio brothers of Lock Lab, and we're just getting started. When we come back, we're going to talk about why one pill might be the only thing standing between you and your hat collection. And I encourage you to head over to locklab.com, where you can look at the products, you can see the research, you can purchase them, get started online at locklab.co. Follow them on Instagram at LockLab and YouTube at GetLockLab. We'll be right back. You're listening to Health Talk America. Welcome back to Health Talk America. I'm Dr. Adam Brockman. And folks, if you've got questions about your health or the topic that we're discussing today, which is hair, I encourage you to get in touch with us through our toll-free hotline, which is 800-606-8822. Again, that's 800-606-8822. That's where you'll find Dr. Bob and myself, two licensed physicians, and we're standing by to help you unlock your best self. And today, I'm here with the founders, the Dimusio brothers of Lock Lab. And this is a brand that's making hair loss history. And if you've got questions for them, they got a great team available for questions and also your concerns. And to start your process with this, your order with this, you can check out them at their hotline, which is 866 Lock Lab, and that's spelled LOCKLAB. Again, that's 866 LOCKLAB, Lock Lab. All right. So first up, I want to start with you now, Paul. You were one of all three brothers here. You guys were one of the first guinea pigs, so to speak, for this formula for the pill. What was your personal experience switching from a standard routine to the Lock Lab pill?
Great question. So David tried the standard routine. I put the standard routine on my dresser for a year and a half and never started it. I had a bottle of the foam just sitting there, like watching the bald spot appear in the back of my head, like watching my hairline get worse. But I looked at that bottle and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep this up forever. And so I just kept thinking, oh, I'll just wait. And I never did it. So I think that this pill speaks to me because I'm a lazy person who doesn't put that much time into my appearance. And I think when we even thought about starting this company, we thought maybe there's other guys like us who they want to get their hair back, but they don't spend 30 minutes in the bathroom on their hair. So for me, I was very skeptical, even though David had started this first, Mark had started this first. And I still thought, I've just heard so many times that hair regrowth isn't possible. Like I don't think this is something that exists in the world. So is it really going to work? For me, maybe it worked for them, maybe it's a fluke. And then I took it, and 4 months later, my wife is just like looking at me with gaga eyes. I'm not even kidding. And she's just like, there you are again. So it was, like seriously life-changing, absolutely life-changing. And it's sort of like, it's like a time machine for your hair. It like makes you look however much younger, it takes you back 5 years. I started losing my hair when I was 25. I started the pill when I was 32. And so I had all that progressive hair loss, and I got like most of it back. All of my hair is in the back, and like my crown is back. And then I fixed my hairline quite significantly. So yeah, we just thought, hey, we have this opportunity. We have these marketing skills. We're really good at making videos. We love working together. We've worked together as professional jugglers, as you mentioned, for a really long time. What if we can, with Dr. Dan McGrath, with his blessing and his guidance, what if we can actually make this available to more people? And so, yeah, it's been incredible.
Mm-hmm. And so, David, you started this process. I want to get your thoughts on that versus the typical routine that most men have tried, and how this you honed in on this and said, hey, this got to be something we got to bring to the masses?
Yeah, so I've literally tried everything. I first was trying minoxidil rubbing. I did use both the spray, like the clear spray, then I did the foam. Then I tried the finasteride pills. I wanted to save money. I also didn't realize that breaking pills up into pieces. So I would get the 5 milligram pill and I'd break it up into pieces. And I didn't know at the time that that changes the active pharmaceutical ingredient. Actually breaking pills up totally changes the way that your system digests them and what the ingredient that's available. So that was a horrible idea, but I didn't know any better at the time. Then I had tried the finasteride minoxidil spray. They came out with that. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this topical spray of the finasteride minoxidil. And just nothing was working really well, and they were all a pain to do. And so, yeah, when I got on this pill, it was just like, oh, okay, wow, that's fixed. It's so easy. It didn't really seem like it should be that easy. Even using the laser helmets, I did that as well. And, then it's not too bad, but you're spending whatever it is, 15, 25 minutes every other day with that on your head. The most difficult thing is honestly just remembering then to carry it in your luggage, because I travel a lot. And so I have this giant helmet that I have to then make room for in my carry-on. So it's just hard to stay consistent with those things. And so Lock Lab, it's, a pill. You get your year's worth and you're done.
I want to say, like, we have, like, most of our friends take this pill at this point, like a lot of them, and because so many guys go bald. And I have good friends who've gotten amazing results on Lock Lab who still forget to take even the pill.
Yes.
Sometimes, not obviously they take it enough where it works, but like that's how much guys are having trouble being consistent with something like this. So they're, oh yeah, like I forgot the pill 2 days in a row. It's like, we couldn't make it any easier. So it needs to be this easy for it to work.
We are the founders of Lock Lab, and I'm sure we've all forgotten to take our pill at some point. I've definitely missed it at least a good 5 to 10 days out of the year. I still forget to take the pill,
Yeah, and that is all of us. And I want to go ahead and I'll ask Mark, for your personal experience with Lock Lab and maybe your hair loss journey as well.
Yeah,
And how
thanks,
you
Dr.
corrected.
Adam. So I think, I was lucky and fortunate enough to have David that had previously gone down this journey. And so for me, it was just kind of like you mentioned in the beginning where, I was sitting in the mirror and I just noticed every day I wasn't able to comb my hair the same way. Like I'd have to kind of comb it, to the right where I used to comb it to the left because it was just getting thinner and thinner. So, I asked David, I was like, hey, what do I do? And he said, you got to talk to Dr. McGrath. He's got this is the best medication available. And I called Dr. McGrath and had my consultation with him. He explained everything and made it super simple. And then, after that, I was an evangelist for this medication and gotten all my friends on it. And then as Paul mentioned, when we had that opportunity to get this out to more guys, it was just a no-brainer.
In person,
yeah, they're evangelists for this stuff. It's they'll walk up to people, like we've got 80,000 patients. We don't need like one extra guy in a coffee shop, and they'll both walk up to people in coffee shops and be like, hey, you ever tried anything for your hair? I think I got something that can help you.
I literally walk up to people randomly that I don't know in coffee shops, and I recommend this medication to them. The guy sitting next to me on planes, the last guy I sat next to on a plane is now on Lock Lab.
Yeah. And that's very important because obviously you want to help people and you saw the benefit from it in your own hairline. And this is not just talking about hair itself. It's talking about confidence for people. And that's where this personal skin in the game for you guys. It's everything. When the founders are the first customers, they believe in the results. And it's not just a product to you guys in the one pill approach. That's the easy button, which Paul was talking about. No chemistry set on the bathroom counter. No sticky scalps. No looking like you just you moisturized your head with syrup. These are the things that are also so important. So David, we got just about a minute or so before break. But Lock Lab, you guys founded in 2023. but the science behind it goes back much further. Can you tell us about Dr. Dan McGrath's role in that formulation?
Yeah, so he was really the first doctor that started prescribing oral minoxidil. And he experimented with it a lot as far as the dosages went, and just ended up landing on 5 milligrams that seemed to be the dose that was the least amount of side effects with the biggest gain in hair. And so he prescribed that to, well over 1,000 patients, and was just getting the best results in the world. And yeah, we got all our friends on it, and that was the start of the history.
Well, I want to get into that a little bit more, but we do got to take a short break. And up next, we're also going to be tackling the big question. Is a hair transplant really the ultimate fix? Or are you just moving furniture around the house? So, folks, I encourage you, grab your solution online at locklab.co. That's LOCKLAB.co. You can check out the transformations there. You can also check out their Instagram page at LockLab. We'll be right back with the DeMuzio brothers. You're listening to Health Talk America. Listening to Health Talk America. I'm Dr. Adam Brockman, and I'm here with the DiMuzio brothers talking about why your hair might need more than just a surgeon's touch. And of course, these brothers have founded Lock Lab, and Lock Lab is it's a simple 1 pill a day solution for hair loss. And again, I encourage you listening right now, if you have questions for them, to reach out directly at their toll-free hotline, which is 866 LOCKLAB. That's 866 Lock Lab. You can also visit their website, which has a wealth of information, and that is locklab.co. That's LOCKLAB.co. Okay, so Paul, I want to go ahead and ask this question. A lot of guys think I'll just wait until it's all gone and then I'll get a transplant. Why is this a dangerous gamble?
I would have thought that too if I didn't know better. It seems so easy to think, with how amazing technology and medicine is, that you can just take hair from anywhere, maybe your legs, and stick it on your head. But the reality is, if your hair isn't strong, if you don't have strong, like thick, good donor hair, then you don't have very much hair to transplant. Basically, the quality of any transplant is based on the quality of your hair at the time. So that's number one. Number two is, if you get a transplant, this is number one, but if you get a transplant, you have to be on medication also, or the hair is just going to keep falling out. The hair may still be susceptible to DHT, and even more than that, and maybe after you hear this program, you'll even notice this in your own life, that you'll see guys with weird patterns of hair where they got a transplant and then all the hair around it started falling out. And so they have like, maybe have a little bit of a unicorn thing going on up here and the rest of it's bald, or like, some donut thing. And like, just there's just a lot of strange patterns that look way worse than if you didn't even get a transplant, if you just shaved your head. So basically, you have to have really good quality hair to get a transplant, and you have to be on medication anyway. So the solution is get on medication first to improve the quality of your hair as much as possible so that you can be a candidate for a transplant, and then stay on that medication so the transplant looks as good as it possibly can. And the problem is that people go to Turkey. Everybody knows this. And there are amazing surgeons in Turkey, and there are horrible surgeons in Turkey. The surgeons in Turkey are not prescribing you medication because they can't prescribe medication in the US. So they don't tell you about medication very often. They don't necessarily care how good the quality of your hair is before you get over there, because they can't even like see your head and really quite tell anyway. And so you go over there, they pay for the thing, for the flight or whatever, you pay, however much money it is. And David can speak to this more, but basically the amount of guys who come back from Turkey with transplants that go wrong is way higher than a lot of the general public realizes. I mean, you can find horror stories all over the place, but doctors in Turkey only have to have, the last time I read up on this, they only have to have 7 days of training to give you a hair transplant. So yes, you can find a great clinic over there, but you also have to find out what kind of medication you can take over here to make sure you're in the right position to get the transplant and then stay looking good after it. David, I don't know if you want David to speak a little more on this process, but
Yeah, I'd love David's input, because again, Paul, you said, transplants, they're alone, they're not enough. So David, how does Lock Lab complement maybe what that surgeon's already done to keep your hair?
Well, Dr. Dan McGrath, who invented this pill that came up with this formulation, is one of the world's best hair transplant surgeons. And so if a hair transplant was a solution on its own, why would a hair transplant doctor be coming up with a pill to help you keep your hair? Wouldn't he just give you more surgeries and fix the problem? The thing is that doesn't work, and that his hair transplants would look horrible on his patients if they didn't get on this medication before the hair transplant to strengthen their donor hair, and then to stay on it afterwards, so that his work actually looks great long term. And he didn't want a bunch of people walking around with ugly hair transplants, with bad looking hair transplants. And then they're like, who did your hair transplants? He's like, Dr. Dan McGrath did. No, he doesn't want that. He wants it looking great for years and years to come. And so that's why he formulated this pill. But yeah, it's necessary. Dr. McGrath actually generally won't do surgery on patients until they've already been on this pill for 6 months, because he wants their donor hair to be as strong as possible. He also wants the hair on the top of their head to be as strong as possible. All that hair that's not transplanted hair. The reason is, if it's not, it can get have shock loss. Shock loss is very common. It's hair that's already kind of thin and wispy and on its way out and dying. And then when you transplant into that hair, into that area, the hair just goes, well, that was kind of tough, and it all just dies. And so you end up actually losing more hair during the hair transplant than you even get. And it's very common. So you got to really strengthen all that hair and then stay on that medication long term, because your donor hair, people think that it's permanent. It's not really. It's semi-permanent. I call it like a water-resistant watch. The hair on the side of your head is not as likely to fall out. But you'll notice on a lot of old guys, they'll kind of recede up. They'll recede from the bottom of their neckline up, and they also recede from the top down. And so you only have that little thin strip that's pretty safe, and all that other hair around it isn't. It's very susceptible to DHT.
Yeah, so if you imagine taking that little strip and trying to fill an entire bald head with it, it really is impossible at a certain point for that even to work for anybody.
Yeah, and most guys are getting FUE these days, which FUE is all the little, polka dot sort of extractions, instead of the strip. And so that's actually even worse if you're not on medication, because with FUE, to take the hair from the back of your head homogeneously so it doesn't look all moth-eaten, they have to take it sort of from all over. So they have to take it outside of the safe zone of hair. And so when you start continuing to lose hair, essentially you just lose your hair transplant over time. And so it all comes down to basically getting a hair transplant without medication is a worse idea than just going bald and just, shaving your head alone, because you're just going to look super funny over time.
Yeah, you guys all have great heads of hair, so I'm curious to hear from each of you how long you've been on Lock Lab, or the formula that is in Lock Lab, and also just if you will, we'll start with you, David, and tell our listeners exactly what is in Lock Lab.
Yeah, so it's 5 milligrams of oral minoxidil, 1.1 milligram of finasteride, and 1 milligram of biotin.
And 0.1 milligrams of dutasteride. We have that version as well.
So there's a Lock Lab Plus pill as well that has 0.1 milligrams of dutasteride. And so that's for guys with more aggressive male pattern baldness genes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And I do got to take a short break. When we come back, I do want to hear how long you guys have been on this. So I'm talking with the Dimuzio brothers of locklab.co. That's their website. It's locklab.co, LOCKLAB.co. You can also reach their hotline for great help and recommendations at 866 Lock Lab. That's 866 Lock Lab. We'll be right back. You're listening to Health Talk America. I'm Dr. Adam Brockman. Welcome back on Health Talk America. If you've ever have been looking at your brush in the morning with a sense of dread, this is a segment and a show for you today. I'm talking with the Dimuzio brothers of Lock Lab, and folks, I tell you, I've been using Lock Lab for several months. I do my research on any product I try, and this one just made sense to me. But also, I said I will say I was highly entertained by the videos that they put out there of them. They're world-class jugglers. It was entertaining, and then they have the product outline to really back it up. And again, I want Paul, I want you to just go over that exactly what's in the product again for our listeners, so we can reinforce why this is so different. And also, is it ever too late to start this process?
Yeah, great questions. It is not too late if you consider the idea that we are having breakthroughs come up in hair research. There is a lot more money put behind that. Our own company, we have quite a large budget for R&D right now. So if you start any medication, I hope you start ours because we take it ourselves. We think it's the best thing you can start. But if you just start any medication right now, you will put yourself in a better position to benefit from further breakthroughs that are coming down the pipeline. Potentially hair transplants will get cheaper as well. And so we recommend anyone who might want to have hair to start. As far as seeing the significant regrowth that you'll see from like all the patients we feature in videos and all of that, that depends on basically three things: how long you've been losing hair. So you can start going bald when you're 60 years old. You can start going bald when you're 35. So it doesn't really matter how old you are. It matters kind of how long you've been bald for. So if you've been bald for 40 years, you're not going to regrow much hair because the follicle is completely miniaturized to the point where it's dead. But you don't really know exactly if the follicle is dead unless you've tried the medication and seen like if you can revitalize those follicles. So we've got people who've been bald for, or not totally bald, but they've been thinning for 25 years, let's say, and they get enough regrowth back. They literally get regrowth in places they haven't had hair for a couple of decades. And that is definitely potentially possible because this is like such a strong and like incredible medication. So as far as like whether it'll work for you, the easiest like go, way to make this simple for people is go check out the before and after photos on our website. We have like the ages of people. We have like quotes from them talking about their experience, and you can see if your hair like fits one of those patterns. We don't have anyone on our website that looks like Terry Bradshaw, because the people like that, people in their 70s with totally bald heads, they are not on there because they're not going to probably get their hair back. But the regrowth is very, very impressive, and yeah, I highly recommend starting it for a number of reasons. You asked another question as well in that, and I didn't answer it yet.
Well, I want to see how long you've been listening, or you've been using the product yourself, the formula, because again, you guys have been you found it in 2023, and I assume you've been using it a little bit longer than that. And I want to go ahead and have Mark answer, which is what exactly is that product again? But Paul, first, how long have you been using it?
Oh, yeah. So I started losing my hair when I was 25, started the pill when I was 32, and I'm 39 going on 40 right now. So, yeah, I guess I've been taking it for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So Mark, how long have you been using Lock Lab?
Yeah, I started when I want to say 25. I'm 35 now, so about a decade. Yeah.
Okay. And then again, for our listeners, I know that David said what was in the pill itself, but I want you to go ahead and reinforce that if you don't mind, Mark.
Yeah, so I take our standard 3-in-1. We have that 4-in-1 option, which is great as well. I'll probably switch to that here shortly, but currently I take the 5 milligrams of minoxidil with 1.1 milligrams of finasteride and 1 milligram of biotin.
Okay, and then David, I want to go ahead and have you answer how long you've been using Lock Lab, or the formula that is Lock Lab, and then also how this differs from maybe other not only topical but other doses of oral minoxidil.
Yeah, so I mean, we use the best medication that's available. So we have tests for purity. We actually hold ourselves to a higher standard than the FDA holds companies to when it comes to the active pharmaceutical ingredient and the percentage of variance within that. We do third-party testing for our medication. So we take this ourselves because it's the best thing that is available. If it wasn't, I'd take whatever the best thing was. I just want to have the best hair. That's most important to me. I actually switched to the Lock Lab Plus. Of the three of us brothers, I'm the only one that's currently taking the Lock Lab Plus, which is the one that has also the addition of 0.1 milligrams of dutasteride. And to be honest, even though I've been on Lock Lab and was for about 9 years before that, like 8 to 9 years, I'd say, before that, I didn't see any regression. Like I wasn't losing any more hair or going more bald taking the regular Lock Lab pill. But for me, it was like we came out with this new version that is a little bit stronger. And I know of the three of us, I have the strongest male pattern baldness genes. I should definitely be bald. I started going bald when I was like 20 years old, and I'm currently 41.
Yeah,
so,
I want to say all of us should be bald. So if you're watching this on video, we're not bald, or if you're watching this on, if you're listening to this, we're not bald, and like truly, we all
not
should
even
be bald
close.
Right
Yeah, not
we
even
should
close.
all be
right?
bald. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we just have one more segment to go. We're wrapping up with the Dimuzio brothers in Lock Lab. And this is how you can take control of your own hair loss in your mane right now. Start your journey today at locklab.co. That's LOCKLAB.co. You can also join the community on Instagram at Lock Lab. They have great videos and content there for your enjoyment. The final segment here on Health Talk America. We're going to finish strong with the team from Lock Lab. That is the Dimuzio brothers. It's David, Paul, and Mark. And David, I want to say that Lock Lab, it's available 100% online, and you made it that way because of accessibility. Why was it so important for you guys to make this readily available and accessible to the masses?
Well, almost all of our friends and family who are males were already on this pill, and it was very difficult to get. They would have to go to Dr. McGrath, pay a consultation fee, go to this compounding pharmacy. It was difficult dealing with that pharmacy. And so, yeah, we just wanted to make it super simple. So it really is. I mean, essentially in 3 minutes, you can solve baldness for yourself and never have to worry about it again.
Mm-hmm. And And then so when we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, well, there's no consultation, there's no fees going to the doctor's office with this. Is how affordable is it for everyone?
So it comes out to $35 a month for the normal Lock Lab pill when you order a 5-month supply. So yeah, I mean, for what does that come out to, a few $100s a year? You can never have to worry about losing your hair. I think about it like this: if I could pay a few $100 a year and never have to go to the gym, but have great muscles, or never have to worry about wrinkling or washing my face, I would do any of those things. I mean, I would do it for 10 times as much money. I would happily pay to never have to worry about any of those other problems. So the fact that hair, which is such an important thing, one of the main things, that makes you look older or younger, is solved for a few $100s a year, is incredible.
It seems like a bargain.
Yeah.
So Paul, is there, for someone out there that's listening right now and saying how can I incorporate this in my daily routine? Will you tell them how simple this is?
Well, I'm pretty forgetful, so I have a little reminder every day to take it. But I mean, it just takes a few seconds. You can take it. We wanted to make the pill really small. We're all like very avid travelers, and we wanted to make it where you could actually potentially take it without water, which is it's small enough to do that while still containing everything it needs to be done. It needs to have. So yeah, easy for people who have a hard time taking pills. Easy, basically in every way. Because yeah, when we just wanted something that we would ideally want for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And so Mark, I'm gonna finish with this question. Realistically, when will somebody see the new, like say for instance, if it's a guy, see the new him? Like when would you see the results starting if you took this right to starting today?
Yeah, great question. So the general rule of thumb is about 4 to 6 months that you'll start noticing results. You can continue to see further improvement up to 12 months. And then after that, you'll maintain those results in your hair for the rest of your life. But we also do have patients that are super responders that, it sounds like you, Dr. Adam, are already starting to see results even in as little as 3 months. So that does happen and it is possible.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, I got to say, Paul, David, Mark, thank you so much for joining me today. I think this is a conversation that needs to be had often. So I want to invite you back on the show as soon as we can get it back on the schedule. I really appreciate the information. And folks, I encourage you to go to locklab.co right now and see for yourself. I don't want you to let another day looking at the drain and thinking, I need to be doing something about this, because you can today. This is Dr. Adam Brockman reminding you on Health Talk America that your health is your greatest wealth. I want you to keep it, protect it, and for heaven's sake, keep that hair. We'll see you next hour.